Hey, so I just wanted to address something today that is really important, in, I guess, in everyday life, whether it is whatever you're doing when you're at school, when you're at work, when you're anywhere out in the world, in public, or also when you're on your computer and you're on using networking sites. You can always encounter like people saying things that are kind of sexist or racist or homophobic and so on and so forth. And I think that for people who are allies to these oppressed social groups of people, I think, and for those who are oppressed, but maybe more so for the allies of them, it's so important that when you hear these comments, no matter what you say or how you do it, it's so important to just express that you're not okay with it. So just basically call them out on their bullshit. And it's so, so, so important to do this, even if, you're scared or you think like, they're not going to listen and it's not going to make a difference and they're just going to attack me back or whatever. But it's just as long as you are like expressing that, you're not okay with it, it's better than not saying anything, because, you know, the more times that these people, even if they're not like sexist per se, but they just don't understand that we live in like a patriarchy, they don't understand blah blah blah. I don't need to get into that, but um, it's if they say something that's like, for example, against like, maybe it's not like direct, but it's just like still contributing to this toxic society that we live in, then it also needs to be called out on. So even if it's not like directly sexist, so everything, this is probably not making sense, but it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult to talk about because I have trouble doing it myself, but I just know that it needs to be said. So like, for example, like, you know, a couple months ago, I said like fuck or something, and some guy was like, oh, said something to the extent of like, oh, that's not nice, like women shouldn't cuss. And like I totally was just like, what the fuck? Like I felt like okay, like, and I wasn't scared of this person and I was in like a relatively safe environment, so I like definitely, called it out and I like expressed that it like wasn't okay. It's not like he's going to change his actions and not say those stupid things, those comments, but if I'm silent and if I laugh along, then it's only going to perpetuate it more. So, yeah, I was in a German class and I just like told my teacher that he was like being not nice to me. And then that kind of embarrassed him. And so it was kind of funny. I mean, I still felt like, what the fuck? Like, that was really shitty of a situation, but it was better than, I said something. And then I was like, it made it a little bit better for me. And it also, I think, does have an effect when, the more people who are calling out these types of things. Anyway, these things happen like all the time, and sometimes it's too difficult and you can't say anything, but just, you don't have to be like witty or have, this great thing to like say right back to them. It doesn't have to be anything, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to cuss them out, it doesn't have to be extreme, just like saying something, I think. And of course, like, it's better if like, like a male had said like, dude, what the fuck, like, what's wrong with you, than had I said it, because like that might carry more weight, they might listen more to like a male's voice than, of course, like the girl's gonna be saying something against it, like, oh, you know. So I guess I want to say this video is to everyone, but maybe just like there's just things that you can do as also as an ally, and yeah, just I don't know. I think, you understand these things and they're difficult and they suck. So then comes the question of like, well, what can you do? And it's like, one thing you can do is you can just call out bullshit immediately, like when it happens. And it doesn't just happen in the streets or in the place, it happens like online too. I mean, it's really surprising when it happens, but it does happen. I can give you more examples. I don't know, but yeah, I don't need to go on and on. It's just like little comments that are like so obviously like just, you know, very minorly inappropriate, but those are affecting everybody and going into everybody's ears and changing, you know, how we are as a society. So let's make it a happier, safer place, and not a mean place. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Mwah. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful day.